Jump up. Winston, jump up, jump up, jump up. Up. Good boy. Can I get into you? In the high-stakes world of semiconductors, one company stands poised to shatter expectations. Whispers of a potential guidance speed are sending shockwaves through the industry, and more investors are taking notice. But this isn't just any run-of-the-mill tech firm we're talking about. This is the titan that powers the devices in your pocket, the AI in your data centers, and quite possibly the future of computing itself. Winston, Tallulah, and Felix here, and welcome to a deep dive into the powerhouse that's making waves in the semiconductor scene. And today we're unraveling a story of innovation, growth, and tantalizing potential. Now you might be wondering, Felix, why should I care about yet another tech company? Well, let me tell you, this isn't just any tech company. This is the backbone of the digital revolution, the silent partner to giants like Apple, Nvidia, and AMD. And if the whispers are true, we could be looking at a financial performance that'll make even the most jaded Wall Street analyst sit up and take notice. Are you sitting up? Apparently not. But as we start to dive into the numbers, let me share something with you. Winston here has a nose for sniffing out golden opportunities, and he's been wagging his tail non-stop since we started researching this because he thought it was something very, very big and delicious. Speaking of big and delicious things, he's also been absolutely crushing it with his teaching portfolio. He's up 93% so far this year on his trading portfolio. And we do those trades publicly with the community through live streams and so on. So if you want to learn how we do that, our mission is to make 1 million people financially free, at least get you on that path. And therefore, we're running a first time ever 2-day beginner trading challenge. And all you got to do is sign up for it. There's a link down below, and at the end of that, you'll walk away with Winston's golden trading rules, which are essentially 3. When do you enter a trade and which trade? How do you automate the profit taking, and how do you automate the risk management? If you know those 3 things, life becomes a lot sweeter, at least in our experience. So you learn all that completely free of charge. Click on the link down below, grab yourself a seat before they run out. I think we can take 1,000 people. Last time we did an event like this, which ages ago, we had about 1,800 people sign up. So be quick. Now, let's turn our attention to this company, this powerhouse that's recently posted some very impressive numbers that caught the eyes of golden retrievers and Wall Street alike. In August alone, this mysterious chip manufacturer saw its sales skyrocket by a staggering 33% compared to the same period last year. That is big growth, but there's more. The company has already reached 68% of JP Morgan's estimate for the entire third quarter. And we're not even done with the quarter yet. Now, I can see you're on the edge of your seat, a bit like Winston here, and you were wondering, who is this semiconductor company? Well, it's, I think, time for the big reveal, isn't it? Are you going to do it, Winston? Are you going to do it? I think he's going to do it. Did you hear that? It is, of course, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC for short. And that's right, TSMC, the world's largest dedicated independent semiconductor foundry, is the one making all this noise. And they're not just making noise, they're making history. TSMC's performance is nothing short of extraordinary. And what is not included in that yet seems to be what Intel just confirmed, that they're handing all their 3 nanometer and below foundry work over to these guys, which just means that Intel's just gone to its biggest competitor and said, guys, we can't make this stuff. Please do it for us. So TSMC isn't just going to meet expectations. They're shattering expectations. And in my opinion, they're going to go absolutely nuts in the next couple of quarters. But what's driving the growth? Well, it's a perfect storm of factors. We're talking about strong demand for their cutting-edge 3 nanometer technology that I just mentioned, continued appetite for their 5 nanometer chips from AI accelerators and high-performance computing products, and let's not forget the ever-hungry smartphone market. TSMC is basically the secret ingredient in your favorite tech curry. You might not see their name on your iPhone or your gaming PC, but trust me, they're in there, working their magic. So now that we've unveiled our semiconductor superstar here, let's dig into what's really powering TSMC's impressive growth. It's not just luck or market trend, it's a perfect storm of tech prowess, strategic positioning, and insatiable demand. First up, we have the crown jewel of TSMC's arsenal, the N3 or 3 nanometer technology. This isn't just small, it's mind-bendingly tiny. We're talking about transistors so small you could fit hundreds of them across the width of a human hair or a golden retriever hair. But why does that matter? Well, smaller transistors mean more power and better efficiency. It's like upgrading from a clunky old steam engine to a sleek electric motor. And the tech world is loving it. But TSMC isn't a one-trick pony. The N5 or 5 nanometer technology is still in hot demand, especially from AI accelerators and other performance computing products. It's like having a chart-topping single while your new album is climbing the charts at the same time. Now let's talk about smartphones. TSMC is the go-to chip manufacturer for Apple's iPhones. And with the new iPhone 16 on the very near horizon, demand is set to explode once again. But it's not just Apple. New Android launches from heavyweights like Qualcomm and MediaTek are also fueling that same fire. But TSMC isn't just riding the wave of current tech trends, they position themselves at the forefront of the AI revolution. JP Morgan's analysts predict that by 2027, a quarter of TSMC's revenue could come from AI-related products. And that's very, very big growth for them. And then, of course, there is also Edge AI, bringing AI capabilities directly to devices rather than relying on cloud processing. And that's basically like giving every device its own mini supercomputer. And guess what? TSMC builds those. Now, you might be wondering, why the heck would we do that? Well, one, regulation. So it means for privacy, you can keep that information just on the device. You don't have to send it all the way back to the cloud. Plus, it'll be faster and possibly more energy efficient. But there's another factor that's set to supercharge TSMC's growth. Intel. Intel is increasingly reliant on TSMC's manufacturing capabilities because Intel can barely make a cup of coffee these days. So Intel, once the undisputed king of chip manufacturing, is now turning to TSMC for help with their most advanced chips. It's like Ferrari calling Toyota for help building engines. But if you're Toyota, that's a pretty sweet deal, and it could potentially push TSMC's growth even further into the stratosphere. For decades, of course, Intel was the undisputed king of chip manufacturing. They were the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the name on every device you ever saw. But, well, they stumbled. They continue to stumble. Recent reports and media speculate that Intel is outsourcing the production of its CPU components for the upcoming Arrow Lake CPUs to TSMC. And it doesn't stop there. We're talking about Lunar Lake mobile processors and key chiplets and other PC platforms too. Basically anything at the very small nanometer level, they're handing it over to TSMC because the Muppets at Intel can't figure it out. So TSMC has basically just been handed the keys to the castle. If Intel outsources 50% of its Arrow Lake production, we could be looking at revenues of 8 to 9 billion more for the coming year than expected. That's not just a win, that's hitting the jackpot on the slot machines. You think he looks comfortable? I think he looks comfortable. This could make Intel TSMC's second largest N3 customer in 2025, right behind Apple. So it's like watching a rivalry turning into a bromance, except one of them doesn't want to be there. Unexpected. But anyway, very beautiful for TSMC. And it'll have far-reaching implication for the entire industry. The balance of power is shifting in favor of TSMC. It'll cement their position as the go-to manufacturer for cutting-edge chips. So there'll be kind of the monopoly out there. So what about Intel? Well, it could diminish interest in Intel's own foundry service. If you are a massive foundry and you're basically admitting that your neighbor's barbecue is better than yours, well, it's not exactly brilliant marketing, is it? So what does it all mean for the future and for the future of TSMC? And what does it mean for investors like you and me? Because we're here to make money, aren't we? Let's dive into TSMC's future outlook, and this is really the important part. First off, let's talk about the immediate future. JP Morgan is projecting a 10% quarter-over-quarter growth in Q4, which is pretty staggering for a company that size. but there is buzz that we might see massive upward revisions in the estimates for TSMCs. So they are going to beat what we expect. And that's, of course, what gets the market really excited. But let's zoom out for a moment and look at the bigger picture. By 2027, it's estimated that a quarter of TSMC's revenue could come from AI-related products. And let's not forget about TSMC's role in producing chips for tech giants like Apple, Nvidia, and AMD, and now Intel. As these companies continue to push the boundaries of what's possible, TSMC will be right there with them, providing the silicon foundation for their innovations. So in summary, I'm very excited about the performance that they're going to put out over the next quarters, especially their guidance. I'd like to see that move up significantly. And I think if they do, they will be on a very, very impressive growth party, because they're gobbling up all the orders from Nvidia, AMD, Apple, now Intel. Who's left? Everybody is basically using TSMC. They're the secret power behind the powers. Now, speaking of secrets, our 3-step trading strategy isn't exactly a secret, because I'm about to give it to you for free this coming Tuesday and Wednesday, but you do have to sign up for it. You want to learn how we're up 93% so far this year, so you can also potentially improve your money managing skills significantly. Grab yourself a free seat. Link is down below, and give us about an hour on each of those days, Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. To Lulu and I, who has obviously been an incredibly important part of this video, so thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to watching this TSMC journey, don't we, Worm? See you on the next one. Did you hear that? That's the sound of SoFi's stock price potentially skyrocketing. Why? Well, buckle up, because I've got some insider info that'll make your golden retriever's ears perk up faster than mine did when he heard this news.